Hello and welcome to the British Gaming Podcast. It is the 5th of December. Wow, December already, 2015. This is Sam, as always. This week we have two special guests. So, we have returning guest Sean Saint at Magnus.
Hello.
And brand new to the British Gaming Podcast, Larry Bundy Jr.
Hi there, thank you very much for having me on your show. I don't.
You sound very American.
Yeah, because I don't understand. I think you've got the wrong Larry Bundy Jr. there, I'm afraid. But, you know, I'll stand in for him. I don't know who that other guy is, but, you know.
For those...
Well, you've got some very big shoes to fill.
For those unfamiliar, Larry used to be on British TV talking about video games. He's also on the YouTubes with series like Games That Yanks Can't Wank.
Yes.
Yes. He also does a lot of trivia videos. For example, the first home console appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog, which of course I went in like an arrogant prick thinking I knew the answer to. Turned out I didn't. He surprised me.
No, you didn't.
No.
Mister, I'm going to review every single Sonic comic ever released, ever, and you didn't even know that fact.
Yeah, pro tip to anybody, deciding to review every single Sonic comic ever released. Turns out that's a pretty bad idea.
Aww.
I made
especially
it to
when you get Larry giving you a bitch slap. There you go, have that fact.
I think I made it to like issue 50 before I gave up.
I did it serious, to be honest. I did like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was doing them in 25 issue chunks, and that's a lot of editing work. Yeah.
You never jumped on the Wonder Boy comics.
Well, no, because you see, this is why it started getting hard, and we're on a bit of a tangent. But the first set of 25 issues, you had one Sonic strip, one Shinobi strip, one Streets of Rage strip, one Wonder Boy strip. So you could quite easily just talk about the Sonic stuff. And then you get to issue 75 or so, and it's like a Sonic, a Tails strip, a Knuckles strip, and then a Techno and Amy strip. So it's all relevant and interconnected. So that gives you then 4 times the amount of content to talk about. Yeah.
It was a comic that did ToeJam and Earl and Lemmings.
There were ToeJam and Earl and Lemmings comics?
There's a rival comics series to Sonic the Comic, and it had ToeJam and Earl and...
See, this is exactly the kind of thing I'm referring to. I had no idea about this.
Comic of Green Dog, the character, the Sega master that nobody remembers.
Oh, Green Dog, the beach surfer dude.
Yes. He was going to be their mascot as well at one point. He was going to be him.
Wow. Too bad his game was shit.
Yeah.
I saw somebody playing that recently, and it was terrible. It was terrible then as it is now.
Didn't GameSack recently cover that as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what caught my eye.
Yeah, games that didn't come out in Japan, they did an episode on that, and I think Green Dog was in that too.
It's an episode. Games that have graphics. Games you can play.
Games what were on a console once.
That's a series in itself. Unexpected console games.
Console exclusives that were actually not exclusive because they were also on PC.
Games that I'll get stroppy about in the comments.
Games Larry hasn't talked about yet. That would be a very short list.
That would probably be like a 5-minute episode saying, right, this is the list. There you go.
Just do it like a Kickstarter thank you credits where a list of names just zooms by at like 500 times speed.
I am getting people writing. I do see on comments sometimes where somebody does like an obscure game. Somebody will write in on the comments, Larry did it first. I've seen that. It's like the old AVGN thing, you can't review, you can't do that game, AVGN's done it, no!
And then you had the subverted version of that, when you had AVGN copying all the Rob shtick that Irate Gamer had already done.
Oh, yeah.
The one time it was the other way around.
Yeah, the one time. The one time when Irate Gamer was actually somewhat relevant.
He done the Odyssey. He done the Odyssey for the AVGN, didn't he?
Did he?
Mm,
Oh, okay.
I think so.
He done some things.
I'd
Yeah, but
have
he did
to
the
ask. I'd have to ask Eric / Salieri. He would know.
I thought he'd given up the ghost
Well,
about doing the Irate Chris Balls. I thought he'd be driving mad in the end.
I don't know. I think he
probably.
just got to a point
Probably is,
where it's
man.
like, you know what, Chris ain't so bad. Like there are
Well, I don't
worse
know.
out there. I've seen them.
Have you noticed what the AVGN's doing for Christmas this year?
No.
He's doing box art covers as like a Tony Hart sort of art thing. You know, like, oh, look at this game cover. It's so much action. He's actually doing it as a recurring series all the way up until December 25th.
Larry did it.
I
Larry
did an episode on box art that steals from other works of
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, which was glorious.
Yes.
Yes.
Still get people complaining that tracing isn't plagiarism.
Oh, come on, it
Tracy
so is.
Tracy.
You've got.
So yeah, if you're influenced by a pose, that's not tracing. That's not plagiarism. And I say, well, yes, it is because it's the same pose and it's obvious.
There's a difference between being influenced by something and drawing the exact same thing right over the top of the original and then passing it off as your own.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, so, on the actual topic list,
Oh, we have to speak, don't we?
yeah,
Somewhere.
we've got the usual what we've been playing this week, plus Sam's random question of the week. Then we have got the Game Awards and Kojima getting cock-blocked from his own award. Speaking of cocks, whether or not the Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball outlash, I guess, ever really existed, or whether PlayAsia would just string you along with fiddles. And then we've got, I believe it was the Psychonauts 2 Kickstarter, and I had the list in front of me. Why did I get rid of the list? Oh yes, PlayStation 2 games arriving on the PlayStation 4 with trophy support. But will your existing purchases from the PS3 and Vita also carry across? We'll find out. And then, of course, to top it all off, we've got your lovely fan questions of the week. So, Larry, as first-time guest, you have the honour of going first on what games you've been playing this week.
This week, I have been mostly playing Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, okay. Any
Okay.
good?
It's the exact same game as the last one. Literally,
Okay.
the whole thing plays out exactly like the last Tomb Raider game, and the only difference is they put crafting in, because every bloody game released now has to have crafting in it.
We're getting to a point in video games where, like the crafting system. Remember when RPG Maker first came out and people were advertising their little indie games on forums, and instead of showing you screenshots or telling you the plot or anything like that, they just had a list of features, and it was like day-night system. Whether they needed it or not, it had a day-night system. Right now, that's what AAA games are doing.
Well, it's all this bollocks with resource management. You've got, well, like you're saying, every game's got to have a crafting system of some description. So you've got to go out and find these certain pieces to build one part of a fucking boat that you've got to build. Look at Clash of Clans. Look at bloody Simpsons Tactile. Old game there, but all these types of games, it's all about, oh, you need to have X amount of this, X amount of that, X amount of another, and then you can actually progress maybe
And there's always one of the
1.1%
components.
of the game.
One of the components is always an absolute nightmare to get hold of. You can't find it anywhere. There's like one place in the entire game that you can find it.
Unless you want to pay real money for it on a microtransaction.
Oh, yes.
Exactly.
I've been having exactly that with Metal Gear Solid 5 this week. I'm enjoying the game, but I'm spending more time in Mother Base's menus and stealing fuel resources than I am actually sneaking about. So, it's a little imbalanced. So, Rise of the Tomb Raider, obviously us PS4 owners have to wait a year for it. Are we missing much, Larry?
Not really. You'll get an extra tomb when it comes out. This special witch tomb thing. But
We'll probably get all the DLC included as an apology.
Yeah, well, that's what it normally is. You just get the goatee edition or something, or the What's it called? What they call it now when they re-release it on the next-gen console?
Definitive.
Definitive, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see?
They did that with the last Tomb Raider.
Yeah, they did. They had one extra 2 minute, and it took about all of 2 minutes to finish.
They did that with
Oh,
And
swapping
it's right at
mobs.
the beginning of the game.
And don't forget you had the actual hair physics this time as well.
Oh yes,
Hair
physics.
physics.
It's the most important thing.
Yes.
But no, so outside of Rise of the Tomb Raider, is there anything else that you've been having a bash on?
Been playing a bit of Star Wars Battlefront.
The reports I'm hearing from that aren't good. A lot of people have put it down already.
Yeah, it's just so much infantry-based combat. It's a bit annoying just fighting on the thing all the time. And also, it's very Fisher Price, my first-person shooter, because most of the weapons you don't even need to reload. You just stop firing for a bit.
Oh, so it's like the alien weapons in Halo. They just have cooldown instead of...
Yeah, they have cooldown, and if
Yeah.
you do overheat them, all you need to do is just do that sort of, that Gears of War reload thing. If you press the reload button at the right time.
Oh yeah, to get the
yeah.
perfect reload.
Yeah, it does that. That's the only thing. If you mess up, keep holding it down. But yeah, basically, you spend about 6 seconds being alive, then you get killed by some sniper on the other side of the map or something, or
It's just 26
some
people
bastard
going
in an
pew pew
AT-AT.
pew.
40 people now. But yeah,
Oh, 40, wow. Okay.
that's
So lots of pew pew, and not a lot else.
lots and dying.
Ah,
Hmm.
fair enough.
Is there anything relevant to the actual prequels in there, or did you stuck with
No,
the
there's
main
nothing about the prequels. It's all about the original trilogy. They've got a free map out, which is for Force Awakenings.
Okay.
Yes, it's that that
Is
level. That scene they always show of all the the Star Destroyer, like it's all crash landed in the desert.
Yeah.
It's going to be it's there.
Oh, okay.
Trying to
Could
think
be
of the name of the
interesting.
planet. It's like another Tatooine. It's called Jakku or something.
Yes, that's it for Jakku, Jakku.
Jakku.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm actually looking forward to seeing.
They named the planet after me.
well, one thing that has been a recurring trend from people who, both friends who have bought it and friends who are staying away from it, is that they feel like they're paying £40 for half a game, with the other half of the game being held at ransom by the season pass, which is also another 40 quid.
That's the A in a nutshell, though, isn't it?
Pretty
Well,
much.
that's just gaming full stop for these days. Every time you buy a game, you've got to buy a season pass, or you've got to buy some form of license so you can play it online. Or my personal favourite, if you want to buy this special gun, you have to buy the resources for it again. Yeah, going back a bit, but
Yeah.
okay.
Or horse armor, which actually came
armor.
back for Metal Gear.
I just know I can't stand. But not the most annoying thing about season passes, does it take so long to come out? I mean, it's like going to McDonald's and saying, I'll order a Big Mac and that. But by the way, we're not going to put the burger in there for another 3 months. So
Yeah.
when so basically it's like that.
A friend of mine at work recently put it very succinctly. He said, as far as I'm concerned, DLC should be, would you like more pie? But now it's just, would you like the rest of your pie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good analogy. That.
Yeah. And it's, when you're putting down for a season pass as well, you've got no idea what you're actually getting a lot of the time, as Arkham Knight owners are finding out the hard way. It's just too much. You're putting money down up front and a good wad, not knowing exactly what you're getting. And it gives them license to, if they put the content out in a month or so's time and it's shit, what's the recourse for you as a consumer? You've got no moves. You can't do anything.
Exactly.
Or my personal favourite, Day One DLC. Yeah, you
we'll
just spend 40 quid on a game. Here, would you like a £10 map pack to go with it? Oh.
Alright, Sean, so what have you been playing this week then?
Nothing as extravagant as Larry, but I've been playing a classic called a little game called Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo, and it's actually on a US Super Nintendo, so I was pretty happy about that. So far, I'm just playing it. Yeah, the purple breeze block.
Yeah, I'm
So
sorry,
I do
America,
actually
your
have fun.
Super Nintendo is ugly.
Yeah, I did
I
hear
do.
a rumour ages ago that the reason the American Super Nintendo was never released in the UK was because of Prince Charles. Because he was on that crusade for aesthetics designs. Do you remember that? He had a thing about trying to ban ugly buildings and stuff like that.
Oh, I actually
And
have
there's a
something to
rumour.
thank the royal family for. They've
Yeah,
actually been useful.
oh, that's what I've heard, and I think that was in Meme Machines. They said that. That's why we got the Japanese version.
Okay.
So,
Can we not just ban horrible princes then? Because I don't like Prince Charles. I always think every time the wind blows, he's going to blow away the sides of his bleeding ears.
No. He just made my list of the ones who are alright based on what Larry just said alone. He's okay. You leave him alone now.
That's one bit. No, not a
Yeah,
royalist.
and it's a good enough bit. If you go on a campaign for aesthetics, you're going to get the artist on board with you.
But anyway, yeah, I do actually have a Famicom, so don't get me wrong on there.
Yeah.
And I do love the look of it.
So how does it? Can you feel the different refresh rate? Is it noticeable?
Well, to be quite honest, when playing a PAL Super Nintendo compared to a US Super Nintendo, it's night and day. You know, games like Mario flow quite nicely. It feels better and plays better. Because main thing is the Famicom board and the Super Nintendo board for US are actually identical.
Oh,
The PAL one is a different board, I believe. I think Larry might be able to fill in the gaps on that one.
Yeah, I believe that's what I heard. Yeah, that's true. Yes. But then again, we always got screwed over in Europe.
Oh, for a long time. It's only recently that all games in all regions have run at the same speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The advent. Well, no, I mean, no, they took out features like the GameCube. The PAL version of GameCube cannot do S-Video, where all other versions can.
That
It doesn't need
sucks.
to because we've got SCART.
Well,
we have SCART in the UK, so it's a better signal all around.
I know, but they say that. Well, no, it has to go through the old graphics thing. You know, that funny port. Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
Are
Yeah.
you talking about an external device like the FrameMeister, or?
No. It says they've had in the. Oh no. Actually, they did change it, didn't they? They did change it for the GameCube because I did the same video output for the NES, Super Nintendo, and the Nintendo 64, and it had always got that sort of fuzzy edge around graphics.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I can take my my N64 lead and swap it around. Yeah.
Well, you can use your N64 lead in your GameCube and your Super Nintendo. They changed it for the Wii. Because they had like a gimmick where they just cut off one little corner of it. They actually did the same on the bleeding cable as well. They cut a corner. They won't. If you actually look at the lead, it's actually got a corner cut out of it like the Wii does.
That's weird. But no. So you've been playing Mega Man anyway.
Mega Man X.
Yes, Mega Man X. Anything else on the list?
Actually, one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I've been playing a mobile game, Knights of the Old Republic, the Android port of it, and it's actually pretty cool. So I can sit on the bus or sit on a genie and actually play Star Wars games. And it's the full game. No, it's not been cut down or anything. It's just a straight port from the PC to phone, and it's actually really good.
So you can play KOTOR on the throne.
Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna have to look into that.
I think it's about £7 or £8. I pay full price for it, which normally you're not really meant to pay for apps these days, but I couldn't resist.
I would not pay £7 or £8 for it.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Just download Happy Chick and you can steal it. There you go. There's a bit of something for you to edit. They'll be wondering why that's leaked out. But...
No. I might just leave that in for evidence. And
links in the description.
I am not responsible for anybody's actions on the back of this podcast.
Yes.
Next
week we tell you how to make explosives.
Larry walks you through how to dump a ROM onto a cartridge.
I'm surprised you haven't done that yet. That's the sort of thing that you would do in a video. It's a tutorial.
I'd have to have the equipment first.
It's easy enough to get.
Yeah, I don't know. It's money, and I'm a tight ass,
Oh,
so
yes, we know
yeah. I guess I'll go then. Metal Gear Solid 5, in case anyone couldn't have guessed, I got it as an early Christmas present during the week.
Oh.
Very painful
Oh.
2-hour tutorial, but after that it does get really good. I'm not at the bit that people say is really rushed and unfinished yet, so I'm not yet at the point where it can disappoint me. I have spent, as I said, more time beefing up Mother Base than actual playing the game, so you spend a lot of time in menus. Outside of Metal Gear, and this is one I'm ashamed of, a mobile game called Panda Pop, which is basically
that.
like Bubble Bobble, but there are pandas trapped in some of the bubbles that you have to save. And they put in gimmicks like if you pop enough red bubbles, then you get a bomb and you can chuck the bomb and that'll take out a whole bunch of them and that kind of shit.
It's
So,
sort of like when you said Panda Pop, I was thinking of the drink, then I was like, yes!
oh
There's a game of
yeah!
What?
Jesus,
my favourite drink.
anyone who went to a primary school party in the 90s knows what a Panda Pop is.
Or a
Yes.
touch.
It's
You
Coke for
get 10
pikeys.
fingers
Yeah.
Next, you'll be talking about those lollies where it was 3 sticks of different flavours all in the same tube.
Oh, I
Also,
remember them.
push pops. That was
Oh,
it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
my friend got arrested for stealing one of them. Shoplift. and he and he bu- and he burst into it made him cry anyhow. And we took the piss out of him for the rest of his school life, calling him we kept calling him Chupa Chup Boy and stuff like that. And I kept singing push a push pop, push it for flea. Basically, we made his life a living hell
He,
just because
he,
we got
he,
caught stealing Chupa Chups. So,
he was the push pop pilferer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, see if you why don't you go to my school?
Oh,
We could-
that's actually kind of cool.
yeah, that's pretty decent.
Hats
No,
off to
but
you on that
it
one.
was it's this neurotic little free to play game, and it keeps trying to push microtransactions. And it was a case of I kept seeing the missus play it just while we were sat on the couch, like trying to watch TV or something. I was like, "Put your damn phone away." Oh, that looks really annoying. And then she was like, "Yeah, but I'm on level 53." I was like, oh, "You've been at that for months and you're only on level 53." She went, "Yeah, but Sam, it's hard." At that point, I downloaded it, and within 3 days, I was on level 79.
Oh, shut up, your missus like that.
Yeah, but
Oh,
now I'm so far ahead that there's no fun in it anymore, so I've uninstalled it. It was like
I've
if
been
you,
playing another mobile game like that. I've been playing a game called Galaxy Zero, and it's basically a shooter, a vertical shooter. It's actually pretty fun.
so sort of like
But
an Ikaruga kind of deal.
no, it's not as ingenious as that. It's as simple. You put your finger on your phone and you're just dragging it across, shooting stuff. It's
Oh,
got
it's
to the point now.
1943 then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to the point for me now where I'm just looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's easy. Just go through there, through there, through there. Now it makes me want to actually buy a decent shooting game for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, you got a fair old selection.
Oh yeah, what? All of four?
I'm, was it the Super Nintendo? I could be thinking of a different game here, but they decided instead of putting the black bars either side, that they would actually rotate the screen, so that instead of going, from the bottom to the top, you were going from left to right.
Yeah, and then you could tilt your TV on its side. You can't do that these days though, but it's worth a try.
You can give it a go.
Oh, I used to do
Results
that.
may vary.
I used to do it at Namco Museum.
Are we
Not
talking?
been there for years.
Are
On the
we talking?
PS1.
Are we talking the Namco that's like a rite of passage on Thursday nights if you're going to MCM? The one that's Spider Thames?
Yeah.
Ah,
Well,
yes.
I went there a
Yeah.
couple of years ago. It's a shadow of its former self.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many Dance Revolution machines in one place before.
The last time we went, we spent more time in the McDonald's that's attached to it than we did in the actual bloody arcade. They had a Guitar Hero arcade machine, which was literally Guitar Hero free, but you had to pay 50p to play one song.
Oh yeah. There's one in the local mall at this end.
Yeah.
I've started going to arcades a lot recently because we actually have something more than just dancing machines. there's actually fighting games and some driving games and some really good kick-ass shooters.
You see, I can't
I
find the
found it
bastards
Darius
around here.
machine.
That's all
I found a
seaside.
Darius machine yesterday.
Well, I have to. I'm going to Western Supersonic in January, and I actually am tempted to book a hotel and hang around Western Supermare for an additional day, just because there's an arcade in the Grand Pier that's all right. You know, it's nothing mind blowing, but it's okay. It's either that or I have to go down to Bournemouth for an arcade.
Oh, I think a
Well,
bit boring.
how
Bournemouth, isn't
old are you again? How old are you again?
26.
It's 12.
I don't think you're old enough to go to Bournemouth yet.
I've already been. This is the sad part. We took the kid for her birthday to the Oceanarium.
Child,
Oh, fair.
child cruelty, that is, saying that at Bournemouth.
That is.
Yeah, well, we were going down there.
Bloody old people's holiday camp, that is.
Bear in mind, I used to live in Norfolk. So where born and raised. Mrs. lived there with me for 3 years. We're driving to Bournemouth with the kids, right? And she's saying to me, when we lived in Norfolk, you said about Great Yarmouth and Cromer and Lowestoft. Well, I went to them. They've got nothing on Bournemouth. Bournemouth has got it over that. I'm like, fuck off. When we actually got there, fuck off. Great Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth,
Bournemouth.
yeah. Great Yarmouth's probably one of the best arcades in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic. And Hemsby
Great
as well,
Yarmouth.
down the road.
Great Yarmouth is actually one of the best places to go, isn't it? From when you were a kid, because of that, for that exact reason. Plus, it's also like, it feels like you're in Spain sometimes.
Well, Larry, you'll appreciate this. When I was doing my graphic design course at college, we had a field trip. We got on bus. Bus goes. The tutor's the same. We're not telling you where you're going or why until we get there. So we turn up in Great Yarmouth, and they went, right, we've brought you here because your next project is on the post-apocalypse and you need to do photographic research. So we thought, what's the biggest shithole in Norfolk?
Hemsby.
Well, it could have gone Hemsby, yeah.
Just anywhere in Norfolk, in my experience.
It's weird how many YouTube people are from the Norfolk area. Like, when I found out that Ashens was... I'm not going to say the road name, but let's just say it's...
It was not far, I'm guessing.
Well, I was on Gertrude Road, so he was quite literally down the hill. Larry may know the road I'm referring to, but...
I'm not too hot on Norwich area, I must admit.
You know, bugger, I'm just going to say it, when he was on Silver Road.
No, I don't know that.
No.
Now, Ashens is going to take down your podcast, John, because you've told everybody where he lives.
Ashens
Well
doesn't
done.
listen to my podcast. He doesn't even know who I am. The only way he would know is if Larry ratted me out. At which point, I know who to go after.
It's all right. It's already up on Twitter.
Ashens got doxed. No, but I do miss Norwich sometimes. Regenerating Gaming, very, very good shop in the middle of Anglia Square.
Doing it out quite a bit, actually, at the moment.
Yeah?
Norwich, yeah.
Nice. I come down like once a year to visit family, and nothing ever seems to have changed.
Oh, you want to go to Hemsby then? It's like permanently stuck in the 1980s, that place.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus.
that's all right,
Larry is not fond of Hemsby. That's
I know,
something I have
I've
learned
been
today.
there so many times.
It just got to the
I
point
bet
now
you
you're
live
like,
there secretly.
maybe.
A load of it burnt down as well a couple of months ago. So.
No, Jesus, that's not good.
Well,
Right.
gives me an excuse to build something then.
I'm going to skip my question of the week because we are very long in the tooth for an intro. Let's get to the Game Awards. And Hideo Kojima, obviously, Metal Gear Solid 5 won Best Action Adventure Game. Kojima was not there to accept the award. And Jeff Keighley then on stage said it was due to Konami basically interfering and telling him that he couldn't be there with threat of, I believe it was legal action.
That's good of them, isn't it? The only person who's probably keeping their company afloat.
Yeah. Yeah, first there was the whole controversy about, he's left us.
He's on holiday.
Yeah, he's on holiday for 3 months. Yeah, sure. Cancelling all his projects. Speaking of Lost, Sean seems to have dropped from the call.
Yeah, I wonder why it went quiet.
Yeah.
Suddenly we lost all acoustics.
That's all right. I'm sure it will auto reconnect, and
Oh, there he is.
yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't. You shouldn't have said that about him. That's well out of order.
No,
Oh, it's
well, I
all
do
right.
apologise.
I'll listen. I'll listen back to some of the change later.
Shit, I forgot I was recording.
Well,
Right. No, so, yeah, Kojima getting blocked with threat of legal action. One thing I do wonder is if he turned up at the Game Awards, what possible law could he be breaking? What could they actually sue him for?
I don't know. Is there some sort of breach of contract or something? Oh.
I don't know, something dodgy's been signed somewhere, hasn't it?
Well, something's happened, but developers have not liked it very much.
No, you had a
Cliff,
thread full of their reactions, didn't you?
yeah, what I'm just going to go straight to my favourite, and that's our friend Cliffy Blazinski.
Yeah.
He says, "Yes, I started brewing myself here. I love you, Hideo Kojima. Tell it like it is, Jeff Keighley." And then he has another tweet here. Uh, he says, "Fucking lawyers." I just thought that's just those two tweets there. Just say it as it say what exactly what everybody else is saying.
Well, my
He
favourite
spent
is a little more subtle. Oh, not subtle, but it takes a different approach. Andrea
okay.
Pacino tweeted, "I am half tempted to grab popcorn and head over to Konami's tweet feed just to enjoy the well-deserved retribution."
Uh,
He just wants to go over there and watch it.
well,
Who's he then? What does he do? That guy?
I have no idea, but he's on this list of DualShockers
Oh, okay.
game developers.
Ready at Dawn is the Ready at Dawn founder.
Ah, there you go, Ready at Dawn founder. There we are.
Yeah.
So that's
But
shown me up for knowledge, hasn't it?
it's on the bloody website. You can't even see it.
It's his bloody cover photo or whatever you want to call it on Twitter as well. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Oh,
all
God.
right. Do your
Well,
homework next time, Sam.
I've just got to get in there with this now. I'm going to be echoing pretty much what everybody else has been saying regarding Hideo Kojima getting shunned by bloody Konami, and they've been basically treating him like shit for the last 2 years, easy enough.
Oh yeah.
Now, for them to stop him receiving an award for a game that he is pretty much the mastermind of, and he's been
Yep.
doing this for nearly 30 years.
No Kojima,
But
no
yet
Metal
they
Gear.
exactly. I'm
Yep.
not going to buy another Metal Gear game after Metal Gear 5. I don't think, because if it doesn't have Kojima's name on the box, then I'm not even going to touch it.
Well, Phantom Pain doesn't have his name on the box. What is
Oh well.
brilliant, though, is it's got his name in the game about 500 times. It's set up as episodic missions, so every time you start a mission, it comes up, a game by Hideo Kojima. And then when you
There we
finish the
go.
mission...
That's it. He wanted to make sure that we knew he made the game. That's why he made it episodic.
Yeah, and then every time
That's just cleaned up a whole lot of bullshit.
every time you finish a mission, it does like a mini end credits as well. First thing, by Hideo fucking Kojima. So there are 50 main missions in the game.
I
So
wrote the
name it
script. I done the theme song.
What's that?
It's a Little Britain, wasn't it? When they used to do what's his name from Minder. You know.
Oh, write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. Yeah, I'm with you.
Can I do the theme tune? Can I act in this? So he's about the size of a toddler. Yeah, I know this sketch you're on about.
But no, Kojima is Metal Gear. I mean, every time he's tried to step away from it in the past, he's ended up coming back because the people he left behind just weren't doing a good enough job of it.
Well, look at what he said when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. He says, right, this is it. I'm not making any more Metal Gear Solid games. 4 games later, we've actually got a whole new story arc.
Yeah, at least we can now say it's probably the last Metal Gear. Because, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, and Metal Gear Solid 4 were all supposed to be the last.
Yeah. It was supposed to end with Metal Gear Solid, and then he made Metal Gear Solid 2. Right, that's the last one. Metal Gear Solid 3 comes along. Oh, we're going back. We've got a whole new arc. Oh, great. Metal Gear Solid 4. Yeah, that finishes off all the arcs. It tied up nicely. That's it. Yeah, it was pretty much a movie. But I'm done now. I don't need to make any more.
It's a lot of
Metal
fan
Gear Solid
service.
Peaceful.
I mean, Larry, you usually know a fair amount of behind-the-scenes stuff when it comes to this kind of thing. Granted, usually with older titles, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were keeping up. Have you got any ears to the ground? Is there anything that you can...
No, I don't know anything. They're pretty quiet about this.
I love how you said that. That was almost like a Konami guy had broken through your window and put a gun to your head. No, I know nothing.
I believe it was a boking accident.
Mr. Kojima is on holiday.
Let's put some discussion onto this now.
All right.
What, besides the pachinko machines and the mobile games, what realistically has Konami got left?
Pro
Evo. Yeah.
They've thrown Castlevania to the wind.
Yeah.
They've thrown.
Well, they turned it into a shitty God of War bloody game, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay because we're getting that other game, Blood thingy. It was kickstarted. I'm forgetting the name of it. I've mentioned it multiple times on the podcast before. But the one that actually looks good.
Or anything kickstarted.
Bloodstained, maybe? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Google.
But the girl with, like, the stained glass window skin.
You're asking a question that I've not really kept up with anything Kickstarter related.
But no, at this point, Konami have screwed the pooch on Silent Hill as well. That's not exactly anything to talk about anymore.
That PT looks so good. I really regret not downloading it when I could have. It was so good.
Well, if you ever catch a flight to England, I've still got it.
Does it still work?
Yes.
Don't ever uninstall it, because you can still make £1,000 on your PS4.
I tell you what, though, when that hard drive eventually fails...
we can always
swap
copy it.
Swap it for an SSD. Swap it for an SSD and then re-download it.
I don't think you can re-download it now. I think they've actually
yes,
managed to scrub... Oh! Fantastic. I had heard at one point that they'd scrubbed it from the servers, so you couldn't even download it anymore, but...
They won't do that. That'd be stupid.
It'd be stupid, but it's also Konami.
Yeah, Konami's just gone away to Capcom, to be honest. You know what? Capcom's not got much left anymore. They've killed Mega Man off, which is probably one of their big franchises. And now they've got Mighty Number 9. They're trying to stop that coming out, aren't they?
Wait, they're trying to stop Mighty Number 9? Since when?
Well, you'll know they'll try and stop it somewhere, because they say, oh, it's copying the gameplay of Mega Man and all this, that, and the other. They're going to try it. I'm calling it now.
Well, I think if they were going to try, it's pretty late in the game at this point.
Oh, they'll try.
Well, I think he said that day he'd let them publish it if there was an issue. Didn't he? I've forgotten his name.
Yeah, so have I all of a sudden as well. Igarashi is the Castlevania guy. He's the one I was talking about a minute ago.
Is it Hideki?
No,
oh.
that's wrong.
Keiji Inafune.
Keiji Inafune, thank you.
Hey!
Hey!
Somebody's done some research.
Imagine if we were on QI or something right now.
Oh yeah, they'd have to do another take, wouldn't they?
It's alright, I'll do this.
But, no, it's... what from the 90s is actually still, like, the powerhouse third-party developers? Who's actually still in a good position?
Acclaim.
Acclaim?
Yes, they've got no reputation at all still.
So, they're not in a good position, Larry. They're in the exact same position they were in 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, yeah.
Activision is pretty much better.
Activision is just... They just release the same crap every bloody 12 months. What's the point of that?
See, Square Enix just seem to have bought all of the licenses to everything that was good. They've pulled a proper EA, haven't they? They've been like, buy your studio, shut down your studio, make a new game from your franchise.
Just keep your IPs,
Yeah, which is better than what EA did. Buy Bullfrog, disband Bullfrog, never make Theme Hospital 2.
What's
that's
Bible Frog?
true.
Pardon?
You said
Bible Frog.
Bible Frog. What's Bible Frog? You were saying?
Buy them
Oh,
as in purchase them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I
Yeah.
heard you say Bible Frog. What are you talking
It
about?
did sound like that.
Alright, sorry. A bisexual bullfrog.
You're not
But-
trying to
Yeah,
trigger me now. Are you?
Oh, don't start
I
about
think
trigger
the-
words.
I'm going to have to go with Square, actually, because if you think about it, they're still releasing games, and they still have more than 3 franchises that they release for.
Yeah. They're probably about the only ones. I mean, Sega are probably failed first and then just set the template for Konami to follow.
Yeah, but they fell back in, what, 95 when they released the Saturn. They've never been back on top for anything, and the Dreamcast was a pipe dream. It didn't last very long.
No, well, when a console has a 2-year lifespan, it tells you everything you need to know.
Exactly. But it was. I'm not saying it's not a bad console. I thought the Dreamcast was fantastic, but
I love the console.
Sega's not been the same since they reshuffled in 2001.
No,
They've not been the same at all. So
they're never
you can't
gonna.
really
They're never gonna
same
return. They're never gonna return to their former glory. They've completely lost relevance. And on
Did
the
you
top,
see somebody done a change.org or petition to demand Sega release a Dreamcast 2? Oh my god! Oh my god! The people petition to release a new console. Why did we think of this before?
Well,
Oh, dear.
Sega's gone down the way of Konami anyway.
They
What they're
finally
focusing
made a
on
Shenmue
mobile
free.
games. Through Kickstarter.
No, but this is what I think a lot of the fanboys are thinking. Well, they finally made a Shenmue free, so maybe a Dreamcast 2 isn't that far-fetched.
Well, that Shenmue 3. That's all Sony's money. That's why.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
Sony are bloody stupid. That's right. That's why they know how to appease to the fanboys and stuff like that.
I'm just glad it means we'll probably get re-releases of Shenmue 1 and 2, because the video out on my Dreamcast is knackered, so even if I want to play my original copies, I can't at the minute.
Oh, they're so rare, these Dreamcasts, you'd never be able to buy another one, would you?
Yeah, I know, but it's like, to play those 2 specific games, I need to pop down about 40 quid. And I just sort of begrudge it.
Well, actually, you don't even need to put down any money. You can just download a Dreamcast emulator and throw in the original discs in your PC. Hell, you don't even need to use the original discs. Just download the ISOs. There you go. Preserve
Find
your
the
discs.
GDIs.
Preserve your Dreamcast. Yeah, they're easy enough to find.
Yeah. This podcast does not support or endorse piracy.
Yeah.
It's not piracy unless you've got the originals and they're just playing in the copies.
It would be a legal backup. Yes.
Yes. Legal
Completely
digital
legit.
back.
Yeah.
Just as long as you don't distribute it, you'll be alright.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Or reverse engineer it.
True. But
Yeah.
just going back on topic with people wanting Sega to release this Dreamcast 2, it's not going to happen. If the only realistic viable way of doing it is trying to make a Android console, and then make games for this Android console,
The
maybe
Sega
take
Ouya.
well, I was going to say take some keynotes from the bloody Ouya and actually just market it properly instead of like, oh yeah, we do this, and then do absolutely sod all.
Yeah, they were very low on exclusives as well. I mean, I think they had Saturday Morning RPG on the Ouya, and that was about it.
And another version of Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah. But no, so speaking about, obviously, we're saying Konami is probably just going to fade into obscurity and have no relevance. A game that's very quickly gained relevance is Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball 3. So this is a game that 2 weeks ago I didn't know had come out. For the past 2 weeks, however, all I've heard is, oh my god, it's such an outrage that this game is not coming to the West, and how dare social justice warriors block it. Now, I'm not convinced by that story. So what I've seen is a handful of fans asking Tecmo Koei, when is the game coming out? An English response, alluding to it being about the depiction of women in video games and that being an issue. And then, of course, PlayAsia were the first ones to talk about SJWs, because basically they got on Twitter and they said, oh, Dead or Alive 3 isn't coming out because of SJWs. Did you know you can buy an Asian version, which is region free and has English subtitles from our website? Please, please give us your money. So I think, actually, we got played like fiddles. PlayAsia made a hell of a lot of money, and Tecmo Koei got a lot of free PR and marketing. From an outrage that, actually, I've not seen any sign of protests or anything like that at all. Guys, your thoughts?
Right, well, I'm going to say as a Dead or Alive fan, I didn't really care for the Extreme series because, well, they've released, 4 games in that series now? Because they
Yeah,
had one on the PSP.
I think
But
it's 5, because there are 2 versions of Extreme 3 with 2 different subtitles. So, like how Pokemon
uh,
has different color versions.
so you get
I think one of them's called
game.
Fortune. One's called Fortune, and I forget what the other's called.
Blue balls.
Blue Balls. Okay, fine. Fortune and Blue
Yes,
Balls.
right. Well, if you think about it, why would it? I don't want version exclusive bikinis or version exclusive characters on there. The problem is, right?
I'm not sure how it
This
works
this
with the mechanics. I'm just aware there are 2 versions with 2 different subtitles.
well, this is what my problem is with this entire whole thing. Now, I don't care for the DOA Extreme series, and I tried it out when it was on the Xbox. I tried it on the 360, and I didn't like either version of it. It's just basically a load of mini games that you could have just put as like DLC or as an extra feature in the game. They didn't really need to release full games for it. So
Pop it on the main menu of Dead or Alive 5 last round.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's
exactly,
just a
and
glorified mini game, really, isn't it?
It's like
it
Tekken
didn't need to
Bowl.
be made. Exactly. Or it's like Tekken Tag Tournament.
Yeah,
That's another
Tekken
game,
Bowling
and
was
it
the
doesn't
shit.
need to be in
Everyone
there.
was
They
in
could have
that.
just made a main series and had it as a playable mode.
Yeah.
So, just trying to get my point across here. In the West, nobody really cares for this game. It's only perverts that really care for this game. And the reason why they're going ape shit about it is because some of them are so stupid they don't even know that your PlayStation 3 and 4 are actually region free anyway. They've been region free since the PSP, for God's sake.
Yep.
But this game, I've not even seen it in shops around here. You know, I'm living in the Philippines. It's an Asian country, and we have game shops. I've not even seen it on the shelves of
Well,
any
you
game
said
shop.
that when you go to video game stores or markets and that, you get a smorgasbord of, like, there's some PAL, there's some US, there's some Japanese,
There's some pirate one.
Yeah.
there's some bootleg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a few bootlegs, but if I want English games, all I need to do is just get the Asian version. It's dual language, so it's got the Chinese and it's also got the English and the full English games, no problem.
Oh,
Now
so
I've
it's more
seen
than
this on,
just subtitles, it's the dub as well, is it?
yeah, it's the subs, it's the audio, the whole 9 yards. It's not
Oh, okay.
so finding the Asian versions isn't actually that bad, but I've
So,
not seen this game anywhere.
no.
And I don't think it's even selling well in Japan.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Well, they're lucky, like 5,000 copies is a good sale in Japan. I don't know why publishers are so fixated on them there, really.
Well, you can sell 6 million copies of a game and it can still be a commercial failure,
Yeah,
apparently.
like
Which I
Tomb
just
Raider.
think you've budgeted wrong, if that's the case, but who am I to say? Um,
Well,
so,
yeah.
Larry, what's your take on this?
Oh, I don't know. It's just bloody pandering to SJWs, isn't it? They're just trying to put fire on the thing. I mean, nobody wants the game. I mean, it's not because they're trying to censor it or something. It's just they're just trying to bring up a backlash of trying to get people to buy it, find it relevant. All these SJWs, they're trying to ban it. Ooh,
That's what they've basically done is gone.
yeah.
People
Fuck
will
you, Bob Chipman.
people who have no interest in Dead or Alive Extreme might end up buying it just to piss off Anita Sarkeesian.
Yeah, that's what
somehow.
they're trying to do. Yeah, but it's not.
Feminism just doesn't exist anymore. As far as I'm concerned, if
God. We're on that
everybody wants,
topic.
I know. I'm just going to finish it just as quickly as well.
Okay.
Feminism is dead.
If you could finish
'Cause-
feminism that quickly, I'd be impressed.
Oh, I wish it was that easy. But if you think about it, right? If a woman wants to be a soldier, she can be a soldier. If she wants to be a copper, she can be a copper. These careers used to be actually locked to men.
Yeah.
A woman can easily do a man's job these days, and as far as I'm concerned, that's what it is. It's equal opportunities, not feminism. Feminism these days. I read in a story once where this girl was actually bloody rescued by a man, and she was rescued from drowning, so she was unconscious. So obviously,
Oh, is this the one where she then sued him for touching her without permission?
Exactly. And
Yes.
it's just stupid stories like that I'm sick of hearing. And they're always like, oh, it's all feminism, and I need to protect myself, men are all slimy. Oh, shut up.
The thing is, feminism is about equality. It's about, men and women having the same opportunities, the same pay, so on and so forth, which is fine, but a lot of the quote-unquote feminists on the internet seem to be looking more at female supremacy. And there was a very good post that was making the rounds on Facebook recently, and it was talking about Guybrush Threepwood, right? And
Okay.
they were talking about how he's quite an insecure bumblefuck of a character, and how ultimately he does fail in the end and sort of ends up making things worse than if he had just not bothered at all. And they were saying that...
So it's like Konami, then.
Yeah. So, for a guy to have all of those faults and character flaws and depth is fine, but if that was a female protagonist with the exact same story and events, it would be an attack on women and making women out to be weak, was essentially the argument. And that's why we can't have interesting female protagonists. Which there's some truth behind.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly that.
Well, look at Lara Croft. She started out as basically a pin-up, triangle tits and all. Now they've watered her down so much that she doesn't have any character development anymore.
Well, she does. They've fucked up her character so much to try and make her this sort of innocent girl. I'm such a precious thing, all these bad things going on. And she goes around murdering 30, 40 people in one level alone. So it's bad. You can't really feel sympathy for somebody who's going around sticking an ice pick in people's faces every 5 seconds. Can you?
I think Lara was... Oh, someone's got a text message.
Oh, mate.
I think Lara did a lot more for women when she was a badass. When she was just like, I'll kill everybody in the room and not even take a fucking name. That, for me, was better than this. Oh, I'm kind of still finding my feet. Oh, I'm not too sure. Yeah. Ooh, Persona. Fuck off. You're going to shoot the dude or you're not going to shoot the dude? Shoot the dude, right, then shoot him.
I know, mate, and I thought you remember that controversy about the first game. That scene where a bloke grabs hold of her in the game, and they say, he's going to rape her and that. And he doesn't. He just tries to kill her, and that's the problem with the game itself.
Is that the when she gets the third piece of the Skion, Scion, however you want to say it, and she comes out of the cave and there's like Natla and her goons, and they grab her from behind and take the Skion off her?
This is the last Tomb Raider.
Oh, we're talking not original Tomb Raider.
There's a scene in it, and all the SJWs were moaning, it's a rape, implying that she's going to be raped. And if you play the game, she's on an island full of men who haven't seen a single woman in over 20 years, and all they do is just go shout out killer. They don't even call her a bitch or anything. I mean, I think they'd be doing a little bit more than, trying to shoot her, wouldn't they?
They were saying, oh, look at this QuickTime event. It's heavily implied that if you failed a QuickTime event, you'll get raped. Game came out. If you failed a QuickTime event, you just get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's no implied rape, and I use inverted commas there.
Yeah. So, Dead or Alive, you've probably been advertised to and had your dislike of SJWs used against you. If you really want the game, you can import the Asian version, and you won't be missing anything. Really,
Well,
I think even
all it is just new bras and panties. That's all it is.
yeah, I mean the content of the game. There's nothing worse in Dead or Alive than in your average bloody Carry On film.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm just going
In
back
fact,
a little
Carry On
bit,
films probably have more adult content than bloody Dead or Alive Extreme does.
Barbara
Well, don't
Winter's
forget
going to be
that-
DLC.
It just spikes a ball. Get out of my game!
I'll get my Ronnie on you.
But I just want to actually say there was actually one interesting female protagonist in recent years,
Oh?
and that's Fem Shep in Mass Effect.
Well, by that logic,
on,
you could
those
say
character
any game
development.
where you create your own character.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. But,
So,
anyway,
let's move on.
as well, to that extent.
what's that?
Fallout 4 as well, in that extent, so you can create your own
Yeah,
character.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, in the same sense, yeah,
Go
very much so.
shagging anything you want. So.
Don't you saw the backlash Jim Sterling got from his bloody misogyny? Oh, fuck anyone and anything! And it's like...
Poor old Jim. He's having an argument with 4chan at the moment because they keep calling him a cuck. So,
A cuck?
yeah.
They can't even get the word cock right.
No, cuck. Oh, okay. Okay, well. Poor old innocent then.
Oh, I'm missing
Oh.
something,
Poor
aren't
old
I?
innocent Sam, you don't know what a cuck is. We'll move on.
Okay, we'll move
We'll
on
move on.
then. So, Psychonauts 2 might happen. There's a Kickstarter. Say what you want about Double Fine and crowdfunding. Broken Age did come out, and I've played it, and it was alright. And it's a game a lot of people thought they were never going to get a sequel to, and this is an opportunity for those people to get a sequel to a something of it. Well, it's not really a hidden gem now. It's got too much of a cult following for that. To get a sequel to pretentious hipster shit.
Somebody called me a cult once. I think that's what I said.
Well, I think if we're looking around on the internet for your old Game Network videos, which, yeah, you are a bit of a cult following finding them.
Bless you.
Aww.
And don't forget your Games World stuff. Them shorts, jeez.
Somebody said.
There are some of them he still keeps bringing out today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
he's still using clips from that.
Still. Well, they're still good.
Just
The less said about that, the
just
better.
Links in the description. More shameless plugs. So, Psychonauts, somebody fill me in. I've never actually played the original.
It was basically a 3D action platformer. Not a lot of people played it at launch. It was one of those that sort of, by the time it got popular, it was far too late to help Tim Schafer.
Well, it's one of those games
another
that are released
Tim Schafer
after
game.
sort of the console sort of died, really, wasn't it?
Mm.
Sort of a game that was released at the end of a console generation, so that didn't help
And
much.
it just sort of came out, nobody particularly gave a shit about it, and then a few people played it and went, oh, actually, we might have missed a trick here, and then they passed it round a few small circles. Those small circles got bigger. Would you say that's a safe analysis of it, Larry? Or
Pretty much so, yeah.
yeah.
So, is there actually a story, or is it
no.
just a platformer?
There is a story. It's something about trippy mental health stuff. I really pay much attention to the story. Apparently I should, but
It's one of those games that everybody goes, oh, you must play it, it's brilliant, and I just sit there, oh, what? Oh, I don't really get on
Everybody
with
that
it.
says that to me, I tell them to fuck off.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
not
I've
like,
got to play this game. Fuck
it
off.
is one of those where you
blow it up.
actually play it and you're like, it's alright, I guess.
yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
like that Ubisoft game, you know, that the French one with the pig character, and they keep
Beyond
going on
Good
about.
and Evil?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm good and evil.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's another one where you get around to play and you're like, it's alright. I mean, it's perfectly palatable and inoffensive, but I don't see where this whole massive, oh, it's the king of everything is coming from.
I think there's a bit of a sort of a mentality that
Mm.
something you keep talking, rose-tinted spectacles. The more you talk about how great something is, you sort of put it on the pedestal of greatness. And
I'm just waiting for whenever I get on a conversation like this, there's one commenter, and he finds every video that I slam people for that, and he's like, oh yeah, you'll want to talk, Sam. Ever heard of a game called Galarians?
Oh,
There you go, I've done your job
that
for you.
game.
All
you
right.
wanna tell you what, if you wanna play a good Resident Evil rip-off on the PS1 that nobody's ever heard of, go and get hold of Chase the Express.
Oh yes,
That
where
is
you're on the
actually a really
train.
good game.
Yes, basically
Yes.
it's Under Siege 2, the game really. But yeah.
It pretty much is. It's what Under Siege should have been.
I
Let's
fucking
see
love
what's
that
got.
game, but it's one of those where you talk to people about it. I lent it off a friend called Tristan in high school,
Hmm.
but
Oh, I rented it from Blockbusters in the day. I did.
yeah, it doesn't take long to get
Wow.
through, does it? But you talk to
It was-
people about it, and they're like, "Chase the what? Is that a Chinese restaurant?"
There's a Chinese restaurant in Eastbourne called Double Dragon. No, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
South End. South End, yeah.
Next time I'm near
I
there,
think
I have to. If I'm doing a comic convention, that's where I'm going for munchies after.
fair
Although
play.
if I'm doing a
Fair
comic
play.
convention in Southend, I might already be in trouble by that point.
Yeah, you've read.
But no. So yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. A lot of people are saying that obviously how Double Fine have run Kickstarters in the past has been dubious. All I can say is hopefully they've learned from their lessons, and at least the last Kickstarter, people got the game they paid for. You know, Broken Age came out. I don't get where the problem is.
So PlayStation 4's getting PlayStation 2 support.
You know, I'm just gonna give up on that. Oh, fuck it.
We kind of didn't even touch on Psycho Ghost. I thought stuff you're listening on.
And on that bombshell.
Thanks, Top Gear.
It
No,
doesn't
so
exist anymore. It's Chris Evans and mates now.
yeah, and Jeremy Clarkson's gone off with Amazon. Him, Hammond, and May are going to be doing some kind of car show for them.
Yeah, can't wait.
The show otherwise known as Top Gear. But no, so the PlayStation 2 games are now on PlayStation 4. There's a small selection of them. Dark
There's
Cloud,
X.
a small selection, yes. Dark Cloud, Rogue Galaxy, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. So Grand Theft Auto is nearly half the list, which is insane. They're all being upscaled in real time to 1080p. Apparently, the 3D
Missed a
models and
couple of games.
textures. Yeah. 3D models and textures apparently come out alright. 2D elements like user interface, you know, health bars, that kind of thing, haven't come out so well. And, yeah, that's... The problem is they've added
How can you
trophies to
upscale an energy bar? Come on.
upscale an energy bar.
Well, that's what you're basically talking about.
Well, yeah,
It's just a pig.
okay, let's talk it then.
Let's talk
So,
about upscaling energy bars. Yes, go.
yeah, right, so you've got your original flat image, yeah? Most
Okay.
like, yeah, single image, like a PNG file, yeah? It's being displayed natively and the game's running, let's say it's 560 pixels tall, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously it needs to be 1080. So what you do is you run it through a filter to resample that image and then show a larger version of that image. And how well it comes out depends on which kind of filter you use. So there are some filters where it comes out like smeared, greasy shit, like someone's just, you know, rubbed Vaseline all over the original image. My favourite is Nearest Neighbour, which preserves hard edges and preserves pixels. So it looks pixely, but it's also really clean. Not everybody's so fond of that. A lot of people don't like seeing the individual squares, but I love seeing individual squares. Like, pixel art is like, to me. So much better than 3D. So yes, that's upscaling.
Okay, so let's discuss the other games that are on this list as well, because there's Twisted Metal Black, probably one of the better PlayStation 2 games out there. Well,
Which means
especially
we're
from
only
its
missing
first-
one
its
game
life.
now. There is one game we've not mentioned, and I don't know which one it
War,
is.
War of the Monsters.
What the hell is that?
It's
I
a
have
David
no
Jeff
idea.
game. It's basically, do you remember King of the Monsters and the Neo Geo?
No.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
I get you.
Well, it's basically a 3D version of that. It's a one-on-one walking around a sort of small arena that's full of sort of skyscrapers, and you go around attacking each other.
So
these little
Armored
skys-
Core with Godzilla monsters.
Pretty much so. Well,
Right.
non-copyright infringing Godzilla monsters.
Okay.
It just
So
looks like
it-
Godzilla.
So you got like a metal dinosaur, then you got a big dinosaur, and then you got a flying thing, and then you got another multi-headed thing that
Yeah,
flies,
they got a
and then you got
robot
the flying thing.
dinosaur, big
Right,
eye
okay.
Yeah.
monster.
Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it's
Well,
quite a good game.
no,
It's quite a good game. I actually bought it the other day actually on eBay. £2.
Oh, very nice.
Well, you could have
We'll have to
waited
do a
and got
game
it on
plan.
your PS4 for what are these going
15.
for? Yeah, 50. Wait, no, I thought it was $15.
Oh, $15. So that's about
Uh,
£8
There's,
Yeah, but no, in the
there's
PlayStation store, they'll put it at
six games
$9.99.
at about $15, 2 games at about $10. So it's about $10.
If
Okay.
it's legal, because if you own the game already, because you don't, when you buy a game, you're not actually buying a disc, you're buying the license to use the game.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you already own the license to play the game, why are you having to pay for it again? I mean, surely that's illegal.
Here's the tricky bit. So the license also stipulates the hardware that it can be played on.
Oh,
So you have a license to play your PlayStation 2 game on an official licensed PlayStation 2 system.
so you're
what you-
breaking license if you play it on emulation.
Technically, yeah. But who
Fair
gives
play.
a shit, right?
Yeah.
Everybody does. Now, I have a. Why didn't they just put the emulation software into the fucking PlayStation and then just play these PlayStation 2 games natively?
Well, technically,
Why
there
didn't
were,
they just do that?
because they wanted to add trophy support, they wanted to add the whole thing where you do share play so someone else can play it.
Got over 3,000 games to go through then if they want to have everybody playing on PlayStation 2.
I think it's
Yeah,
more than
but-
that. I think there's over 11,000 games on the PS2. Isn't there something ridiculous?
It is a stupidly large library. Anyone who ever turns to me and says, I'm going to do a complete PlayStation 2 collection, I just laugh.
You wouldn't be able to fit it in your house for starters, would you? I mean,
No, you wouldn't.
a huge amount of shovelware as well. And then you get on this pedantic thing of, you're going to buy the platinum editions and stuff like that. And
Well, it's already said that it won't be able to run PlayStation 2 discs. So they've actually modified the games to put the trophy support and stuff in, but that also means that it will not support the games that you already bought on PlayStation 3. So if you bought one of the PS2 classics on PlayStation 3 and you want to bring that across to the PS4, you're shit out of luck. You're going to have to pay again when it becomes available.
That's the problem though. You know, people have been collecting PlayStation 2 games because they're so easy to collect for. And then they just go, they say, oh yeah, you can play PlayStation 2 games on your PS4. But we choose the ones that we're going to put onto PS2. So say if you wanted to play a game like, I don't know, Cold Winter, and
Yeah.
it's actually a good little first-person shooter game for the PS2. You're not going to be able to play it again because, you know,
Unless you've still got your PS2.
It's going to be the same shit that we've had years and years and years before. We had, think of Killzone, for example. They released a HD version of Killzone with trophy support on the PS3. They're just going to do, and they want to re-release that again and do it that way.
Killzone 1. They re-released Killzone 1.
Yeah,
I
they
never
did
knew that.
Yeah, they did.
They did a
They did a
trilogy
HD
pack
remake.
as well as a physical release, so you got like a box set and it had all three of them for PS3.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was originally supposed to be a PS1 game, first Killzone, did you know?
Ah.
Right.
Again, Larry's trivia. This is
Yes.
why you need to check
I think
it out.
there's actual footage of it as well on YouTube as well, the original PS1.
Would
And it
this
looks-
footage on YouTube happen to be located on your channel?
It doesn't actually. I mean, I'll probably eventually steal it, but when it is, at the moment, it isn't. No. So,
Fair enough. Do you ever have trouble with, because you do, obviously with the subject matter, you have to use, like, archive footage and beta footage because there's no way to record your own footage of it.
no.
So do you ever get trouble with, like, copyright strikes and that kind of thing on the back
Never
of...
for anything like that. The only trouble I ever had was movie studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you did your
But
movie
then
mistakes
sometimes
videos.
you sometimes get like a copyright claim for some bizarre Spanish gaming website you've never heard of who claim they own the video footage if you use bits of footage from a trailer or something. But you just
Yeah.
claim go away.
Counterclaim, yeah. Fair enough.
So it's all fair use as well because it's you're using it for commentary purposes.
Yeah.
So you don't have to use the footage for the subject you're talking about as long as it's for commentary as
That's
well.
interesting to know. But no, I do think it's a little bit nickel and diming on Sony's part. A little
Like I
bit.
say, Killzone is a good example of that because it's already been re-released once as an HD remaster, and if they're going to re-release it again for PS4, that's what three releases of that game alone. Well, four if you count the Platinum Edition.
Yeah, true. Guys, just very quickly, the missus is trying to tell me something, so I'm just going to step away for 2 seconds, see what she wants,
Can you keep it down, please?
and come back.
I'm trying to sleep.
That might actually
Okay.
genuinely be it, but I'll be back in 2 secs, okay?
Are you talking
Okay.
to your nerd friends again, Samuel?
Yes, and you know I'm podcasting. I told you I'd be podcasting. Why are you interrupting the podcast? But yeah, back
This
in
is
2
all going to be
secs.
bloopers.
Yeah.
Oh god. Why do we want? So we're going to have a PS4 that plays PS2 games. We have a PS3 that plays PS1 games. So all we need is PS3 and a PS4.
Well, we'll just wait for the PS5 and they can play all of them. So
No, there'll probably be some form of DLC that you have to pay for just to have the right to play a PlayStation 4 game or a PlayStation 3 game.
oh well. It's just
Why don't they just stick with PlayStation now? And just put all the games on there. Do all the trophy support.
because it's not doing as well as they thought it would. People don't like the idea of streaming games, I don't think. I think it's it's all right to watch movies on a Netflix service, but people get all outraged about having to pay for games and stuff like that they can't physically own. I think that's why On Live died as well.
Well, Live was pretty much the same thing, wasn't it?
Well, the thing is, after a while, the games you actually bought, they took away from you. I bought Dirt 2 on there the day it came out because there was a special offer you could get it for £1. And a year later, they took it off. So it's like basically you paying full price for a game and then somebody coming around your house one day and they're nicking it. And you can't do anything about it. So that's why a lot of people don't want to pay for games they can't physically own in case somebody tries to take it off them.
Well, look at Steam. Steam's got it pretty much right now.
Steam's got it perfectly, yeah.
They've got it right. Why don't they just copy Steam's fucking business model? It will.
Also, they do really good deals as well. You never see that on consoles, do you? But they go, oh, look, you can buy this game for £1 today and stuff like that. I never do.
That's going to make it tricky to edit because it sounds like you guys have had a good conversation while I've been gone.
Yeah. So yeah, the host is a bit crap, so we started our own podcast.
Yeah, we took it over.
No, as it turns out, my son's going to bed and he wanted to say night.
Oh.
And I actually got an apology as well. She said, I'm sorry, I didn't realise when you said you were going up to record at 3, I didn't realise you meant the podcast. I thought you were just doing another bloody top 10 video or some shit.
That bloody Sonic commentary.
Yeah, would you shut up
It's
about
not
that blue
another
hedgehog?
Street Fighter, is it?
No, my daughter can point out Sonic now from like 100 feet away, and the missus is distraught. I actually get asked now by my 3-year-old, can we play Sonic? And actually sit down and play it with her, which is quite nice. Awesome. But what was a little bit awkward was when I got handed Metal Gear Solid 5 earlier in the week. Was it last week or earlier this week? I
I
can't
don't
remember
know.
now.
You are we?
Anyway, obviously Maya saw me get handed it, and she knows a blue case is a game now. And she looked at me and went, "Daddy, can we play a game?" I was like, "This is only going on after you go to bed."
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I've just found that comic. It's called Max Overload.
Max Overload. Is that the Vector Man Green Doggy comic you were talking about
It's,
earlier? Is it?
yes, because it's got a comic of Lemmings, Tojo Noel, Chuck Rock, and Green Dog.
Oh, Chuck Rock is in there?
Yeah, it's a Chuck Rock comic.
Chuck Rock.
Okay,
Classic.
I might have to eBay some of those. Just actually, if I'm going to because the Western Super Mare convention in January is a Sonic the Hedgehog convention, so
It's quite,
someone,
hang on, let me just post up a link for you to have a look at the
yeah,
comic.
sure.
There you go.
But there's always a guy selling Sonic the Comic issues. He might have a couple of
He
Max
might do.
Overloads. Yeah.
It didn't last very long. It's got really weird art on it as well. Sort of that sort of weird, funky 2000 AD sort of art. You know, that weird sort of abstract.
Oh, I like my really clean, crisp, nowhere to hide, nothing to be ashamed of art. Your Richard Elsons, your Mark Toes, and your Ed McGuinnesses.
No, this is completely different. Like I said, this is
This
more
is
like 2000.
completely, is it?
I
Very
don't know
sort of
any of them.
abstract, like 2000 AD. So have a look. Have a look. Yeah, have a look at this. You can see the artwork on there on the front page.
Okay. This is interesting. A lemming with a stick of dynamite and,
Well, Lemmings is a complete rip-off of the Wombles, the character designs. Did you know?
Remember your Womble.
Well, if you look at Lemmings and then you can't get it out of your head that they're Wombles.
They've actually got pages from the Toe Jam and Earl comic and the Green Dog. That's pretty clean artwork, to be fair.
Chuck Rock, look at the Chuck Rock.
Oh, the Chuck Rock. Oh, okay.
See, it's like that
Oh,
weird
this one's
abstract
Facebook.
2000 AD artwork.
That's very angular, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's, no, I suppose it fits the theme of Chuck Rock, though. So, yeah, I could probably go with that. So, we'd pretty much exhausted PlayStation 2 games coming to PlayStation 4.
We're coming up with better ideas of
Yeah,
how
we
we can
started.
actually do it.
Oh, better ways to do it, right. So, what did you have? I heard you mention Steam sales were things like 50p a pound.
I just think of
Well,
Humble Bundle as well.
Humble bundles are pretty good because
What,
the more money you spend,
a
the
humble
better
bundle
you
for
get.
PSN?
Well, they did it for the Wii, but they wouldn't get it for the UK, did they? It was only for America, the Wii Humble Bundle.
Oh, was it? That's
Yeah.
a shame.
Because everybody moaned about it because they didn't tell anybody it was only for the thing. So a couple of people bought it, and the codes wouldn't work on the UK
Ah, that's a shit.
or Europe.
Mm.
So yeah, no, like I said, well, I think the closest thing they've ever had was Ubisoft had a clearance sale when they were getting rid of some of their games off Xbox Live, and they had like Call of Juarez, all three of them for £1 each and stuff like that.
Oh, so it's sort of like these are getting pulled from the service in
Yeah.
a week anyway, so let's just get what we can for
So
them
yeah, a bit of
before
a
they disappear.
a virtual fire sale. But yeah, no, they should do more stuff like that. I just went around buying everything because it was so cheap.
And you were just
Hell,
like, I
even
don't know if I'm
Android
ever
do
going to
that.
play this or not, but
It
I'll
doesn't.
take
Yeah,
it.
it's a pound. It's a pound. I mean, you spend that on bloody a can of Coke or something nowadays.
I hate that when you justify buying. I bought Epic Mickey 2 on PlayStation 3. No idea when I'm actually going to play it, bear in mind. But I bought it because it was the price of a foot-long sub. That's how I justified it to myself.
Yeah, so you lose weight
You
and get a game.
justify it on how much you can eat.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
If
like,
I- if I-
that's 2 foot-longs. I'm sorry, we haven't got a deal. 1 foot long, we're good.
That's the DLC.
The DLC
No,
would
that's the
be
extra
like
cheese.
no, the DLC is double meat, double cheese.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah, but no,
I
the
think
thing is, the reason I don't use the PlayStation Store and the reason I don't download these games is because A, I'm a preservationist and I don't have a physical copy. Like, if I go back to my Mega Drive, I can still shove any old cartridge in there and it's going to work. And all of the content is still going to be there. There's no bloody DLC or servers or anything else like that to worry about. And secondly, because it's too fucking expensive. A lot of games, you can go in stores, buy them anywhere between 35 and 45 quid. Go on PSN for a digital copy of the exact same game, 59.99. Are you fucking mad?
Well, they do that on purpose because they don't want to sort of upset the retailers. That's why they do that.
Well, I just think, from a common sense point of view, if we take the bullshit politics out of it, common sense point of view, a digital version, you've not had to pay for the plastic for the case, you've not had to get the sleeve printed, you've not had to get the manual printed, although you rarely bloody get one of those these days anyway.
No.
You've not had to press the disc, you've not had to distribute it.
Paying for storing in warehouses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've not had to give an
logistics.
unreasonable cut to a brick and mortar store.
Insurance for shoplifting, stuff like that as well.
Yeah. You know, so I'm thinking you've got all these additional costs which simply aren't there for digital distribution, and yet none of the saving gets passed on. If anything, it's more often more expensive. And it's all because they want to keep Game and Tesco in their fucking pocket.
Yeah,
Fuck
pretty
Game
much
and
so.
Tesco.
It's because they sell the consoles as well. So if without a console, you don't have no machine, do you? So.
Well, GameStop in the US recently refused to stock. Basically, they started doing consoles that are bundled with games now, but instead of the actual physical game, you've just got a code to download the game. And I believe it was GameStop in the US refused to stock them.
Are you shitting me? Seriously?
They would only stock the
doing
bundle
now?
if it came with a physical copy.
I think I was.
It's only because they can.
Recently.
I bet it's because they can rip it out and sell it themselves. That's why.
Well, I went to a game shop recently. Similar sort of deal. They had like a whole line of like PlayStation 4s for sale, and I was looking at them. There's one for 15,000, one for like, which is pesos by the way.
I was gonna say.
Pesos. 150, well, standard console prices really. And then I saw one for like 20,000, and it was just the same as the 15,000 console. So I asked him, what's the difference? Oh, you get a couple of games with it. I went, all right, what? Are they physical? No, they were just a code. I was like, how can you justify costing us an extra 5,000, which is about 80 quid more
80 quid.
on two games that are just a piece of paper and a line of code that you put in on PlayStation Network? More than likely, I can't use it because my PSN account's a British account, not a US account.
Well, I had an interesting thing with Amazon and digital codes. Basically, when Arkham Knight was coming out, I'd ordered the limited edition with the statue of Batman, and the Batmobile edition got cancelled, and then the Batman one that I had pre-ordered, they delayed it because of the quality of the statue. So I complained, saying, look, I pre-ordered this, I've been waiting for this game for years, I want to play it on fucking launch. So they gave me a free PSN code for the game. Of course, that means when the actual game turned up, I had no use for that disc. Essentially, I've got 2 copies of the game. I could sell the disc copy and I'd still be able to play the digital copy and I'd still have my statue and everything. So that was a bit of a weird situation.
That's kind of contradicting yourself. You just said, well, not 5 minutes ago, you're a preservationist. You could just keep the game sealed and have it on your shelf, and you can at least say, yeah, I have this game. And if somebody wants to
I've
borrow
unsealed it and
you
taken
can
I've unsealed it, I've taken the statue out, I've put that on display, I've read through the art book. No, I'm not saying I want to do that, I'm saying I would have been able to do that. Or even, because my card wasn't charged until the actual physical copy dispatched. So by all means, I could have taken that digital code, downloaded it to my PlayStation, and cancelled the fucking Amazon order before it even dispatched. Because there was 2 weeks between... Because I'm a ninny and I really wanted that statue.
Yeah, you're a ninny and you really wanted the statue.
Yeah.
You don't get moaned at by the missus and go, where are you going to put that? We know we've got any space.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Oh, I get that as well. Yeah.
I don't think you've seen anything from the place we're in at the moment, Larry, but there's a secret attic room which can only be accessed through mine and the missus' bedroom. It's great. The kids don't know it's here. And that's where I am at the moment. So
That's where we put the gingerhead stepchild.
yeah, that's where I live.
You feed
So
them
up
fish
here
nets.
you've got my PC, my Wacom Cintiq for drawing, like 500 plus volumes of manga, like 70 odd Mega Drive games, about 70, 80 PlayStation games, all those consoles,
My gimp
all the
suit.
N64 games, the Gimp suit, yeah, we can't forget that. Thousands of individual single issues of comics and comic boxes. I just hide up here. It's my man cave. I love it.
Ah,
And I do. Every time I buy something, I get yelled at going, that fucking attic room is already full. You've got an entire room for this shit and you still haven't got enough space for all your shit.
just
It could be
imagine what
worse.
just imagine what she's going to be like when you discover how cheap arcade machines are to buy.
Well, I was going to say, I shut her up once by showing her that photo you put on your Facebook of the silent scope machine in your back
Oh.
garden.
Yes, because it's too bloody big to fit through the front door.
Yeah, so I just showed her that photo and went, it could always be worse.
It is worse. I bought 2 bloody Fist of the North Star arcade machines as well.
Oh god, are those the ones you used to have in Roxham where it was like the three red pads either side
Yeah.
and they pop out and you gotta... I fucking love that game.
There's a video of me playing them on my YouTube channel as well. But
I'm heading straight over there after this.
yes,
As
fighting
soon
me.
as this wraps, I'm going and I'm watching... Because I think how you are in your physicality and how like your facial expressions and how you move, I think that would be quite funny to watch.
Yes,
I
thank
can
you.
imagine
Laughing
you're
at a
probably...
fat man playing an arcade machine. It involves some effort, exercise.
If you'll notice, I said your facial expressions
Oh,
and
okay.
and the way that you move. I did not mention at all your weight. You brought that into the discussion, good sir.
It's because you're subtle. They're too subtle, you know. It's Britishness.
I could imagine you getting like proper into it, like your hair flicking about, your cheeks right puffed up, and you being like, "Come on!"
Oh no, it really kills your arms after about 5 minutes. That game.
Yeah. Why two
You
of
are
them?
in fact punching.
Because one of them doesn't work properly, so I thought if I get basically the parts, Konami don't sell the parts anymore, so it's a lot cheaper to buy another machine and then transfer them over, sort of make one good one out of 2 bad ones.
Oh, so like when I ended up with 3 PlayStation 2s that didn't work, and now I have 1 PlayStation 2 that does work.
Essentially, yeah. So you're
Yeah.
using them for spare parts, so it's a lot cheaper to buy another arcade machine, ironically, than it is to just go out and buy the parts. And the motors for each pad, there's a guy on eBay and he wanted about 400 quid each for them. So one of those motors is more expensive than a whole new machine.
Jesus. And have you ever like kept the shell of a spare machine and thought that you might turn it into a MAME cabinet?
I left one outside, and because they made out of chipboard, they just turned to mush. So so it wasn't a very good idea,
No.
to be honest. You can actually
need to get a bigger shed.
You can actually get flash carts now for Jammer arcade machines.
Oh, okay.
So yes, Pandora's Box they're called.
I'll have to look into that.
So yeah, you can get like 500 games in one on things. Yeah, and they're really cheap. They're like 20 quid off AliExpress. If you ever
You do know Joanna's gonna hate you, right?
I think most people's wives seem to hate me when I talk
And I'll be down home base with all this chipboard and paint, and she'll be like, fuck you.
No, you're better off buying an actual arcade machine and faffing about all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can pick them up for like 50 quid. Actually, there's a forum called jammer.co.uk, and there's people on there giving them away for free.
Oh, right.
As well, yeah.
If it's free.
Well, you got to pay for delivery and that, but apart from that, it's all free, yeah.
Sam, why are you making me drive to this postcode? What's going on? Oh, no. No, that is not getting in our car. Yes, it is. Because we've got a...
How come nobody's actually suggested to just make a Raspberry Pi main machine? It'd be a lot easier.
They've done that.
Well, I know they've done
now
that.
that the
I'm
newest
talking
Pi
about
is
us
out.
three.
Oh, okay.
Well, this new Pi is, about 3 quid or something?
That Pi Zero, yeah.
Yeah, Pi Zero is about $8.
I can't find that magazine anywhere. I've been
the
looking
one
for
that's giving it away free on the cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Magpie. Right,
No,
I can't find it anywhere.
I've just been looking for that black cover every
Yeah.
time I go into a WH Smith's. Like, come on.
I've looked everywhere, Tesco's, Asda's, anywhere, and none of them have it in stock. So they're either that
Bastards.
popular, people are bloody sticking them on eBay for price hiking and that. Which
Oh,
is,
that happened with the Games Master 20th anniversary special for Sonic the Hedgehog. I got mine, but yeah, a lot of people were coming to me saying they couldn't find them anywhere. And when they went on eBay, people were trying to get like 40, 50 quid for this magazine.
oh, shit, bad. Did they also done that for the, when they put on the final episode of Games Master on DVD on the front, didn't they? As
Did
well.
they?
Yeah, you can get them on eBay.
Jesus.
Because
That's...
Future actually own the rights to Games Master now, did you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why nobody's ever made a new series, or
No more big beardy bloke.
no.
No.
It's the days.
So, should we get to the fan questions of the week?
No, let's just talk about random
I
bollocks
think
again.
so.
I enjoy random
Well,
bollocks.
Well, let me put it out there. If somebody can find a Raspberry Pi Zero, send it me. I want one. I don't care about the magazine. Just get me the Pi Zero.
I don't think the people buying the magazine care about the magazine either, Sean.
Yeah. I just want
Um,
the Pi so I can actually look about with it. I have a few good ideas.
So it's our, the questions all come from our regular Koshoro guy.
Oh, Koshoro.
Koshoro, yes. It's usually either him or Lupacillo. So
Oh.
this week
Oh,
it's him.
Lucasillo. Have we got a Lucasillo question? I've not answered one.
No, we've not got anything from him. We've just got Koshoro this
Oh,
week.
he'll shit himself when he realises I'm
Well,
back on the
I say
team.
this week, it's actually been about 2 weeks due to the hiatus we had to go on. But, question 1. If you had to pick one 8-bit system to have your favourite sound chip, which one would you pick, and what are some game soundtracks that are the pure embodiment of the system? I think he's asking you what your favourite 8-bit sound chip is.
I would say. Well, I think the SID chip's probably the best sound chip. Really, the most you can get the most out of. I think a lot of iconic songs from the Commodore 64. I never had a Commodore 64 as a kid, but I really enjoy the music. The Master System, if I had a choice of that, I'd have to put the FM sound chip on there because it's just as good as the Mega Drive. But we never got that. It just sounded like tinny crap. So I think.
Yeah.
Oh, you go first.
The only 8-bit
No,
system
I
I've
agree.
owned is the Master System. After that, Mega Drive 16-bit, so on and so forth. I never had an NES, so for 8-bit, the only thing I can refer to is the Master System. So it wins by default for me.
I'd have to say I'm just going to go NES because it just seems to be more iconic. Most games from that era, you hear the 8-bit sound of a Mario sound, or you hear Castlevania in 8-bit, and
Oh yeah,
so many
yes.
memories just come back from that. So for me personally, just from that standpoint, that's the one I choose. Memorable soundtracks, anything Castlevania from that time, because they're all bloody tears. That's all you need to say.
The Master System Sonic had some decent songs as well. Bridge Zone, in particular, was pretty decent.
No, 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 no.
And there's a rendition of it.
Jungle Zone wasn't too bad. Do 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 do. Yeah,
Well,
not doing
the
it.
Master System version of Green Hill Zone wasn't too bad either. It's quite close to the Mega Drive version.
Yeah. So no, I think that's everyone for that one, isn't it?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. So, question 2. What are some of the best stories that you have ever had the pleasure of going through within any video game, and would you say are legitimately good? So, favourite video game stories, basically.
I like how you just give us a breakdown of it,
Yeah.
uh,
He puts it as about 20 words, and then I repeat it as 4. That's generally how it works.
Ah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll go first on this one. Actually, it was a game that was recently came out in recent years. Spec Ops: The Line. I was expecting it to just be an ordinary, just like grunt shoot this, grunt shoot that, and it was
Yeah.
actually it had really good character development all the way through. It was very well voiced by Nolan North, so that for me, the story had a really good twist in it. Anytime somebody asks me what's a good third-person shooter, and I always suggest that one, from recent years. So, Spec Ops: The Line on Xbox 360 and PS3. I think it's
I
on
believe
PC
it's also on
as well.
PC now too. Yeah. I'm gonna
Definitely
go
worth
with
looking
I'm gonna I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy IX as my main answer. I would say the story from Galarians is quite good. However, Galarian's Ash exists and completely fucks over the ending of the original, so it sort of loses major points for that. So yeah, Final Fantasy IX. I love all the characters. I think the idea of using summons as weapons basically to attack whole towns and cities is quite awesome. Um, yeah, don't know who the fuck that final boss was. I don't think anyone does. He just sort of appears, but other than that, really solid story. Yeah.
it. It's a good Final Fantasy entry, and I prefer it
It's the
over. Believe it or
best
not, I
Final
actually
Fantasy
prefer it
entry.
over 7. I prefer it over 7.
That's not
7 was
hard.
my first, but I preferred 9 over 7 any day.
Good man. Mr. Bundy,
What's the question again? What the best?
video game story.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I think the first one that comes to my mind, the first story I ever really watched and played in a game and then got really bummed about when it finished was probably Snatcher. Really?
Oh, Kojima's very early work.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I remember the ending of that sort of really bummed me out.
Yeah, when he went to go get his award and he got cock-blocked by a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of recall, and it was entirely unintentional.
Ah.
It's quite nice, actually. But yeah. No, Snatcher is genuinely... I gotta admit, the first time I played Broken Sword, I thought the story was so much better than it actually was. And I think that's because we just didn't have many good stories in video games at the time. I was like, this is amazing! I am hooked! Who is this clown?
I think for me another PS3 game actually, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. The story on it was absolutely, it was kind of like, how the hell, that kind of reaction when I played it for the first time. It was like,
I don't know,
really?
I enjoyed it, but I put it in the competent category, if you know what I mean. And very rarely do games get put in the competent category for storytelling, so that's saying a lot more than it sounds like it's saying, but yeah.
It didn't seem as it didn't seem as forced as Force Unleashed 2 was. Force Unleashed
Hey,
2, the story was too, well, like I said, forced.
this is another sequel where it basically shat on the original.
But
Oh, I
the
couldn't even be asked
gameplay
to
was
finish the
tighter
second
on it.
one.
The gameplay was tighter on it though.
When you finish the second one, it is so obvious that they wanted there to be a third one, which obviously then never happened.
George Lucas
Um,
absolutely hated the character.
What, he hated Starkiller?
Yeah, he always says that. He says to anybody who talked about him in a meeting, they had to refer to him as that guy.
Oh, wow. So, is this a future video from you, Larry?
Top 10 reasons why George Lucas is a twat, really. But
Well, hopefully
no.
Star Wars isn't going to be bothered with him anymore, so that's a good thing.
Like, games that never came out, Force Unleashed 3, just
Yeah.
dig up as much as you can and
Do
enlighten
you
us.
find that ironic about the new Star Wars coming out that if for the first time ever not having the creator involved, everybody likes it more?
Yeah.
I mean, it's normally the complete opposite, isn't it? When they say, the creator's not going to be involved. Oh no, it's going to be terrible. Oh, fucking, this game's going to be...
And no, Konami. That
Yeah.
strategy cannot work for Metal Gear. Bad Konami. Just because that time, fully intentional recall. Fuck them.
I can't
Right,
wait to
so...
see what they're going to actually do with the whole Jar Jar Binks story, because rumour mills have been going nuts, saying that he's the Sith Lord that's been controlling everything, and they're going to really paint it through on this next bloody film. And I'm like,
Oh,
no,
is this the
really?
thing that's been going through and it sort of points out, look, he's on this side of the ledge, and they're shooting over there, but then he comes down over here and he can only do that with a force jump. Look, he's doing this
It's
with
a
his hands, and he's doing the Jedi mind trick and all that lot.
he's still a fucking idiot. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be in the new one.
Well,
No idea.
the rumor mill's going nuts saying that he is, but I don't think he's going to be anywhere near this franchise anymore.
I would hope not. Shall we move to question 3 then?
Yeah, I think so.
If you could bring back any franchise, regardless of whether they began as a video game or not, which ones would you pick? Franchises to bring back.
Armored Core.
Yeah,
Armored
good
Core.
call. Very good.
Original gameplay Armored Core, not like this new one where Armored Core 5 was an absolute mess in my opinion.
I don't know what you'd call the franchise, but Dark Cloud, Dark Chronicle, and then we didn't get anything else. So that.
We'll just say the Dark franchise.
The Dark franchise. Sounds so emo.
I'd like a Demon Souls 2. I know we have Dark Souls and stuff like that, but I think a Demon Souls
I think we can just
2.
call it the Souls franchise. I mean, you could even call Bloodborne, part of the Souls franchise, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
not me.
See, from a non-video gamey thing, I would love to bring Full Metal Alchemist back, but at the same time, that was so perfect as it was that I sort of don't want them to ruin it.
Nah.
Well, it's like this Dragon Ball Super. I wanted a Dragon Ball, a new set of Dragon Ball episodes that wasn't GT, and never got it. I'm still waiting to watch it because it's not in English yet.
Dragon Ball Super, I've been watching it with subtitles, and it's actually been quite good. I'm up to episode 17, and apparently they've subtitled up to 22, so I've got some catching up to do. But, yes, some of the animation is a bit choppy, but it's been alright.
Well, what's the first 5 episodes, and then they changed the animation style twice.
Croc, Legend of the Gobbos. I would totally bring him back for a third game.
Croc Legend of the... It's not Yoshi at all.
Yeah, that one. I recently rebought the first 2 games when I was selling at MCM Expo. The missus always tells me, if you're selling your comics and art at a convention, don't buy anything because you're there to make money, not spend money. And within like the first 10 minutes of Saturday morning, I'd bought Croc 1 and 2 from a game vendor. Probably paid more than I should have too.
Ah.
Yeah, well, they're obviously resellers at Comic-Cons, so
Yeah,
you just sort of you go in with that expectation that you're going to be paying reseller prices.
But they weren't cheap, I reckon.
£7 for Croc 1 and £12 for Croc 2, so not terrible prices, to be honest. I probably could have got them for less. Well, yeah, I'd have got them cheaper if I'd have gone to SCI at Regenerating Gaming in Norwich, but I'm not going to be in Norwich until, like, April next year. So, if that, it might not even be till August next year.
I would like to see a new Psyops. I really enjoyed that on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
I did too.
I think it's great fun.
Game.
Yes, Ties That Bind wasn't that great, actually, was it?
You've made me think of Siphon Filter now.
Ooh.
Yeah, that could be one.
I'll tell you one I'd love to get again. C12 Final Resistance.
I bought that. I got that on my shelf at the moment.
I don't know, for it to be a franchise, it sort of implies that it has to have more than one game already, doesn't it?
I don't care, it's a franchise. If you've got one game, it's a franchise to me. Right.
Bring back Galarians and retcon Galarian's Ash. Just find some way to make it so that Galarian's Ash never happened, and I'll probably be happy. Like, the game could be shit, so long as it retcons Ash, I'm happy. One day I'll do a proper video on why I hate Galarian's Ash as much as I do, but today is not that day.
No.
Right, we've got 2 more questions from him, and I'm conscious of time, so... Number 4. What is the best fan fiction of any game that you've had the pleasure or displeasure of reading, watching, whatever format it was in?
Agony in Pink.
Tell us a little more.
No.
What is Agony in Pink?
It's a Power Rangers fan fiction. It's rather infamous. You probably don't want to look at it because it might damage your
My vision of Amy Jo Johnson?
Yes,
Yeah,
you're
probably.
innocent.
Although Amy Jo Johnson has already been topless in that film, so it's sort of already too late for that.
Ah.
Yeah. And now everyone listening to this is like, what film?
Google.
Google.
Yeah, Googling, because I'm not telling you either. I don't know which one it is as well.
Yeah, Power Rangers
Um,
Turbo.
Yeah.
Delete the scene where she gets it on with Ivan News. So.
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you?
Ivan News wasn't in Turbo. It was that.
No, he was just in Power Rangers the movie,
He's
vanilla.
the deleted
Yeah.
scene.
He is in the deleted scene
Yeah.
that Larry has conjured up. Okay.
Fair enough.
I've not actually read any fan fiction. My other half reads a lot of fan fiction. She reads a lot of Roxas and Axel fan fiction. And I think that's mainly what puts me off fan fiction. So
Yeah.
I
Harry
have a
Potter
friend.
fiction.
I have a friend, Randy. She does a lot of fan fiction, and all of her writing is very, very good. So yeah, Randy, your stuff is good. Keep doing it.
There's
I
actually.
said,
Oh, you go first. You go first.
oh, you first.
Okay, I said there's actually fan fiction of me and Ashens out there.
What?
Yeah.
I
This
dare not ask what's in
type in
context.
Lashens and you'll find it. Yeah.
I really don't want to. Just in case I put in.
It's Actions reviewing you on his sofa.
It's me professing my love to him. Section.
So basically, yes.
Yes.
The problem is I know that if I put lashings into Google, it'll come up saying, "Did you mean lashings?" Showing search results for lashings.
Did you mean black cocks?
Oh, no.
I watched Ted 2 this morning, so.
I did do a bad on a Google search. I was drawing a page of my first comic, Arcadia, and bear in mind the mother-in-law was around, and so I'm drawing this in the living room just to be sociable, and I've got the laptop open just to, reference things. And they tied a villain up at the end. So I searched man tied up without any forethought in front of my mother-in-law.
Oops.
Yeah. Pro tip, guys, don't do it. So I've got anything by my friend Randy. You've got Lashens.
Well, it's not my favourite. I don't go going, oh, I love looking up poorly fan fiction about myself. How bloody egotistical do you think I am?
Extremely.
The one I regret actually even looking up once was Fantasy Star Online fan fiction.
Okay.
So it was just so bad because I was in a phase of like Fantasy Star Online, playing it on the Dreamcast, then moved to GameCube and Xbox respectfully, and just looking up fan fiction for that was some of it was so terrible. And
I love how none of
Fantasy
us
Star
have gone.
2 is no better.
None of us have gone anywhere near Sonic fan fiction, which is probably one thing
No,
I can be
I
proud
think
of.
after the bestiality one I heard was floating around the internet, I don't think I could bring myself to even
Wait, the
think it's something like
bestiality one? There are
There's many.
hundreds. That's a lot more than one.
No,
So,
I just went for the one because there is actually one that's infamous.
all right, fair enough. I'm going to move on to question 5 and not let you take that any further.
I'm not going to take trust me.
So question 5 is, what is the best, worst movie you've ever seen? So I guess your favourite bad film.
Oh,
Ooh.
God. Where does he come up with this crud?
I don't know. I sort of want to say The Mask. The Mask or Liar Liar. Both of them are bad, but I like them.
Is that the one with the Cher movie, the boy with the funny face?
Huh?
The Mask. Oh, never mind.
The green faced guy. Basically.
Somebody Stop Me, that one.
Yeah, so let's start.
EARTY. Because I gotta.
Yeah, and where he's playing with the balloons, he's like, "Oh look, a Tommy gun." Bap, 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 bap.
If you look at the comics of that version of that, he actually kills them, doesn't he?
Hmm.
Yeah, terrible film, but I like it.
So I saw it at cinema actually. that film.
Wow. Feeling your age yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went to the first day showing of the Super Mario Brothers movie as well. That's how old I feel.
Oh, God. I'll tell you when you feel old, and Sean, you might back me up on this. Mrs. Doubtfire, I watched it 100 times as a kid. And then I was watching it with my kids, and there's a bit where he's changing into the suit. And he's got someone in the living room that he's talking to, and he doesn't want them to come through to the back. And they ask, so, is there much new going on with you? And just as he's putting the boobs on, he goes, yeah, there's been 2 big new developments. I did not catch that joke until just recently.
For me, Jumanji. It's such a bad
Jumanji.
movie, but I enjoyed watching it.
Okay.
Even
I
to
think
this day.
Zathura's worse. The sequel.
Oh,
There's a
Zathura.
sequel?
Yeah, Zathura. Yeah.
Oh, God. Right. Larry's top 10 films you didn't know had sequels.
Ah, I'm not a movie person. I'm a game person.
Well, you
Go on.
did just do games you didn't know had sequels.
I did, yes. They're not
Yes.
movies, are they? So.
No, but close enough. The thing about that guy and his wife.
That was pretty dark.
Yeah, so they said he'd been burgled.
Yeah.
And if you want to know the rest of that story, you'll have to check out Larry's channel.
Yes.
Yes.
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
It's pretty much what happens in this sort of thing.
Yeah, a podcast is just an excuse to plug each other, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, so those are the fan questions of the week. So thank you to Kashara Guy for submitting those.
Well done, Kashoro.
Yeah, we look forward to.
All hail for rescuing this podcast.
I don't think it needed rescuing. It's probably a bit far. I'm hurt, Larry. But no, it has been bloody enjoyable. And
You're on
very,
another
very.
hiatus since after Christmas now, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know Richie's availability or anybody else's availability at the moment. It's all a bit up in the air. So, by all means, leave us your questions of the week. However, I can't guarantee that won't be a month before they're answered, if I'm being entirely honest. We will return at some point. We have had the most British guest we could have possibly had, and one of the most unique voices on the YouTubes, Larry Bundy Jr.
Yay! I
And we've
bought my
also...
own mic.
Yay!
And we've had the British guy who is a traitor because he fucked off to the Philippines.
I fucked off ahead of Cameron, trying to fuck everything up in in your country. So
Oh,
I
so
think,
you're a rat jumping ship then, are you?
yeah,
Did you or did you not move out of Britain, regardless of the
I
timing?
I moved out of Britain,
Right, so you're a
but
traitor.
I'm still British. I'm not a traitor.
You're a traitor.
I'm not taking on another. I'm not taking on another nationality. So.
What, are you like dual passport now or something?
Still
Anyway.
on passport.
Alright, well, anyway, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. Have you guys got anything you want to say to, like, the 3 people listening before we go?
Yeah. I feel sorry for you.
Cheers. Thanks. That does a lot for my ego. Sean?
I'll be back, basically. Few things in the pipeline that I'm working on. I will be making a return to YouTube full force, so to
He
speak.
is back, y'all. Hopefully with a better microphone.
Well, if you look at 8-bit history, microphones have never been my strong point.
Alright. Well, it's been a
Neither
lot of
is
fun.
podcasting.
It's not been right since I left it, to be honest.
Oh, dear.
See, and you murdered Silent Rob as well.
Silent Rob's head is floating in a jar somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. We're gonna have to launch an investigation. Where's House when you need?
Where is Rob? There's a rumor going around that he had a child and got married, but no, I've not heard anything about that. And I've not spoken to him since last December. Not last December, December before.
Well, this is the thing, YouTubers can just disappear, and then it's just rumor and speculation. Speaking of disappearing,